Hey, so today I'm gonna be talking about what's it like in engineering school. So in my freshman year, that was for me like a wake-up call, like, okay, you're not the only person that's good at math and science, and you're not the only one that likes math and science. When you're in high school, your friends and like everybody, they have different interests and they have different capabilities. So you're unique if you like math and science and you're good at it, but then you come to this place and then there's a lot of people like you. So in that sense, it's cool that you meet a lot of people that have your same interests in that sense, and you can have conversations with these people that otherwise you wouldn't have with your other friends that are not in engineering school. And in your freshman year, you're also trying to get used to this freedom, I guess. And you're trying to figure out how college life works, and depending where you're going, it can be overwhelming, like especially if you're going to a big college like I did go to. And it was overwhelming as well because in the high school that I went to, it was in another country, so I know that it works different, but it was more strict, and like you didn't have all this freedom that you have in college. So for me, it was like getting used to that. And it's like you don't have people on your back telling you what to do or to go to class. In here it's like you go to class if you want, you do well if you want. So it's like controlling that freedom on your benefit. So yeah, in terms of class, then you start taking more general classes like the physics and the chemistry, the calculus, biology, and all the engineerings are combined. Like if you're a mechanical engineering student, you might have a class with a chemical engineering student and like that. So it's like you're all together at the beginning. You have like intro to engineering and all these basic classes, and all of these classes are gonna be like the basis for your engineering classes. So your professors then are gonna think like, okay, like these people already have this basic knowledge and they master it, so like let's move on to the hard stuff. So at the beginning, it's like even though you think these classes are overwhelming, they're nothing compared to like the engineering classes that you're gonna take. So then your sophomore year comes, and it's a little bit easier. Like you have more time to join clubs and like start thinking about internships and applying to research and doing all this stuff. So you still have time to have more social life. Obviously you can do all this stuff in freshman year as well, but I'm just mentioning it here because it's like you kind of figure out by now like college life and how things work, and like this is the time where it will be better if you're thinking about how to manage your time, because it's gonna get harder. And in this year, you're still not completely just taking classes with your same class. For example, I'm a chemical engineering major, so I only took like 2 classes during the whole year that were chemical engineering classes. And by the way, one of them was the intro to chemical engineering, and that was an important class because even the professor told us like, if you get a C or you get less than a C, then you should reconsider if you're gonna study chemical engineering. I don't know if I agree with that. It was a difficult class, and they taught us a little bit of the other classes that we were gonna take on the future, like chemical engineering classes, but it was all in one class. So I felt like that was hard, and it was like overwhelming, to take it all at once. So I don't know if I agree with like you should reconsider, but yeah. And then your junior year comes and boom, you don't have time for anything. No, I'm kidding, but like it's harder. Definitely it's harder because now you're taking mostly engineering classes. Before you had the opportunity to take engineering classes with electives, and that will balance it out, but now no, like it's like basically all engineering. And you have to have, it's like the time for you to demonstrate that you can manage your time, that you're ready to be productive in less time. And I mean, I had a newborn like the first semester of my junior year, so it was already hard, but I know that it was hard for my friends as well. So it's like you have less free time, like you're using the free time that you used to have before in all your projects and homeworks. And definitely I started like, you know, staying up late to do all these things, all these projects and homeworks and studying, because I just didn't have too much time, you know, during the day. And you can obviously balance it out. Like I've been pretty good at balance it out the years before, and you can still have a social life, but definitely it's less than in your sophomore and in your freshman year. And by the way, we do have a social life in engineering school, in case you were wondering. So now, senior year, supposedly it's more relaxed. You know, I saw a meme that it was like different pictures of how you looked like in your different years, and it was like you were dying in like freshman, sophomore, and junior year, and then at the end it's, you see Leonardo DiCaprio like, you know, like it's more relaxed, but not really. At least the first semester, especially if you're applying to graduate school, this semester is the semester where you have to put all your applications, and also some people take the GRE. My advice is take the GRE before senior year, like that summer or even a year before. I didn't follow my own advice and I took it during the semester, and I applied to these schools during the semester, and it just so time consuming that made it more difficult. Plus my classes were still a little bit hard, and on top of that we're starting our senior design project. And by the way, that varies. It depends which project you're assigned to or which project you chose to, but some projects are easier than others, and also it's like some projects are sponsored. So obviously, like if you're sponsored by a company that you want to work for, they're looking at you at that moment, right? Because I know a lot of people that they did their project with companies, and at the end the companies hired them. So this is your opportunity to show off and give good results in a timely manner. So this can make it more difficult for you. Mine was like not super easy, but it wasn't super hard. It's not sponsored, I'm still doing it. So for me it was like, in that sense, it was, you know, average workload. But yeah, definitely, because I was applying to different grad schools in the GRE, it was still very heavy workload that semester. And then this last semester, it started like a breeze. Like I felt more relaxed, even though I was taking 4 classes plus doing my honor thesis, which by the way, like not everyone does. In my college, only if you're an honor student, you want to graduate with honors and you're part of the honor program, then you have to do this honor thesis, which is very time consuming, and I'm doing a lot of work. But then besides that, I felt like it was super relaxed. But I mean, now it's like I don't even know what to tell you. Like my senior year, obviously it's different than other senior years for other people, because there's a pandemic going on, so we're doing the classes online right now, and we're not gonna have commencement. So I don't know what to tell you about that part. So yeah, overall I do think it's hard. You have to be very organized. You're gonna use a lot of your time in projects, internships, research classes, like everything that has to do with engineering school. It's definitely time consuming, but for me it's worth it. I learned so many things. It's like, you know, finding about the secrets of the world, and you know, just doing cool stuff and very difficult stuff that I used to look at these problems and I'm like, you know, who can do this? And now I can. So I feel that that's very satisfying for me. And also engineering is very diverse. We can do a lot of things. We're like the mastermind behind everything. So you have a lot of different job opportunities, and being an engineer just opens so many doors, so it's definitely worth it. You can still have a social life no matter what the memes say. We do have a social life. So yeah, I hope you decide for engineering school. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe if you want to help me. Thank you. Bye.